today I'm going to be continuing talking about the Pirates of the Caribbean film franchise. Today talk about the second film in the franchise, which is the 2006 Gore Verbinski film, Pirates of the Caribbean Dead Man's Chest, which is obviously the second film. And this film was set just after the first one, so I would recommend obviously you watch the first one before this one. But anyway, so let's start with the positives. For a start, I think it's great how in this film we're introduced to just new amazing characters that weren't in the first one. The iconic one is really Davy Jones, who's just a great and unique character because he's like a living like squid pirate, which is just very cool. And there's obviously Bootstrap Bill, who is Will's dad, and is talked about a lot in the first film. And obviously, I said that we might see him in this film, and I was correct. We did. And he was a brilliant addition to this film. Speaking of this character, right at the start of the film, there's a great scene with him and Jack Sparrow, and then you don't see him for like another hour. This adds a lot of tension and I guess like curiosity to his character because he's quite mysterious. He like comes out of nowhere and they have quite like a dark chat. And he's also portrayed by the great and famous actor Stellan Skarsgård, who is in many other films that I really like, and especially Thor, where he plays the character Erik Selvig, and he's just brilliant in this film, brilliant actor, and I think he's great to put in this film. I also do want to say that the action in this film is a bit different, in my opinion anyway. I don't think the fights, to be honest, are actually as good in this film as they were in the first Pirates of the Caribbean film, but they're definitely good. And there's more fights like on ships, which is different to the first one, which I think is quite good. It's entertaining, and it's more of like a pirate style, I guess. You know, the ships and the cannons and whatnot, and obviously the iconic sword fights. One fight in particular that I do like, it's towards the end of the film. It's between Jack Sparrow, Will, and James Norrington, or the Commodore, although in this film he actually isn't the Commodore anymore. And it's where they're fighting this island, and they all like jump onto this like wheel, and it starts rolling around. It's really entertaining. But this is kind of strange because these three people are like fighting on the same team, because obviously Jack and Will are like on the same team. They're like friends. And it's a bit strange how they're fighting each other. I just thought it's quite weird, but it's very entertaining. Also, one thing I do like is there's James Norrington, the character. In the first film, I said I didn't really like him, but in this film, he's definitely more likable because he's an actual pirate in this film. He's just a much better addition to the film in this one than he was in the first one. Again, adding on to character development, Elizabeth is very good in this film, and it changes because in the first one she was kind of like the girl, like the leader's daughter even. And in this film, she's more of a pirate, and she wears all the clothes and even fights, which is just something I wasn't expecting, but it's really cool, honestly. She kind of breaks stereotypes, especially in the the pirate sort of era as well. No one would really expect to see a girl like fighting and stuff, wearing all this outfits. But I do like it. I have to say, I thought it was good. This film also has more of like a gloomy and like scarier feel or theme to it, which I thought I do quite like. It starts quite dark at the start, where like Elizabeth's in jail and Will is in danger. And then even we have the scene that I said before with Bootstrap Bill and Jack Sparrow where they're talking. It's really dark and like gloomy and stuff. Another part of the film I really liked is where Will is searching for Captain Jack Sparrow, and he comes across this island, which is home to like a bunch of like tribes people, and Jack pretends to become their chief, and he wears all this weird makeup and stuff with the eyes. It's really cool. And then Will, along with the crew of the Black Pearl, they get captured, and there's like this ball on the side of the mountain, like rocking it to the side. And they eventually escape narrowly with all this army chasing after them, which is very entertaining. But what I do like about this scene is the makeup and the costumes is all so good. It must have taken just so long for the director, the makeup people, whatever, to put all this together. Like there's literally like 50 of them or whatever, and they've all wearing these super cool like unique makeups like for the tribes people, and I just think it's really cool. I love the story in this film as well. I like it how they like have to pick up pieces on the way to like find the dead man's chest. They go and talk to Tia in like this strange like lake area, and obviously she tells them about the dead man's chest and what to find in it and where they can find it, because obviously Jack's got like that key drawing, and that's what they need to find. And this is just a really cool scene. The story is just incredible. Lastly, I think the ending for this film is just brilliant, where we find out James Norrington has the Davy Jones heart, and because obviously we thought Jack had it in that jar of dirt, but he couldn't find it. And then Davy Jones opens the chest to see it's not there, because obviously we know that James has it. And then there's a bit at the end where we go back to see Tia and the crew, and they're talking about how Jack, because we think he dies in it, but obviously we know now there's future films with him in it, so obviously he isn't dead. And they're all talking about how he's a great captain. Nothing would do it like him. Sorry, Johnny Depp is definitely the star performer in this film again. Captain Jack Sparrow is a great character. And then at the end, Tia is talking to the crew about how they might need a new captain. And then it's so cool. Hector Barbosa, the pirate from the first one, he jumps out of nowhere right at the end, and it's really cool. Obviously, I guess we'll see him in future films. This is a brilliant end to the film, and I enjoyed this so much. Although this film was good, there were unfortunately some negatives to start off. For a start, I didn't like how Bootstrap Bill, he just got such little screen time, but he's such a good character in my opinion. And then there's just like this completely useless character, Ian Mercer he's called, who was like this character who was like sent to hunt like Jack and Will. And there's this really cool scene in the bar where they meet James Norrington, and he's like, I'm going to be the new captain. And in the background, you can like see him like, lurching around and whatnot. But this is completely irrelevant because we don't see him at all for the rest of the film. And I was kind of like, why did they put this in the film? It's just, there's no point of it, literally. He was there, like, it was really cool, and then he just wasn't there for the rest of the film, which I don't really get. And although towards the end it's quite sad, we do see Jack Sparrow, I guess, jump into the mouth of like the Davy Jones locker or whatnot. I'm not really sure what happens. And then we see Elizabeth and Jack kiss. I thought this was just a silly and strange, bizarre thing to add right at the end of the film. And Will Turner actually sees this. He actually sees them kissing, and obviously Will and Elizabeth are about to get married, which I really hope it doesn't affect their relationship in the future. Lastly, I wish we had like more fights with like sword fights between like the main protagonists and the villains. We did in the first film get lots of brilliant ones between like Barbosa and Jack Sparrow. But I did really enjoy this film, but I felt that's one thing they could have like touched upon. I would recommend you guys to watch this if you haven't. I'll probably have to give this a solid 8 out of 10. It was just a brilliant film. What did you guys think of Pirates of the Caribbean Dead Man's Chest? Let us know down below, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.